hour. I'm Trash Boy, more mince pie than man, and we're here to talk about a bunch of stuff. I struggle just to do one thing, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff. I don't know what to put on the internet, so we can talk about a bunch of things. Something that I find weird, something I find cool, something I didn't know, and you didn't know. I don't know, it's about the Steam Deck. Whatever. A game I'm addicted to, and we're going to add a game to the list. If you don't know what the list is, you haven't been on Twitch or anywhere else, but you can check out the website hardclasscthulhu.com or .co.uk, whatever you want to do. There's stuff about the list on there, you know, that's cool. And then just some updates about what's going on here. Who knows? Let's see. Marvel Rivals is weird. Doesn't say it's bad. I really like Marvel Rivals. Hey nerds. No! That is the worst. Are you for real, game? I played it a lot. I got the season pass. I got everything in the season pass. It's fun. For the most part. Yeah, that's right. Did I... Oh, I hate it. Oh, God. But I've been continuing to play, doing missions and even doing this. Because I was like, hey, I'll build up some of these chrono tokens. And then when the next battle pass comes, I can just buy a bunch of stuff. That's great. And the battle pass will be cheaper maybe because you get some of these. I don't really know. But I could build these up and then just get loads of stuff for the next battle pass. I was then informed, which I then Googled and checked. And chrono tokens, the things to buy stuff in the battle pass, reset each season. Hey, we got 3. Don't do it. I've done it. Please don't. Just don't. That would be dumb. Thank you. Now we need two vanguards or tanks. We can just call them tanks. Come on. Unless you paid for them. They stay if you paid, but if you've earned them through playing the game, they don't. Weird. So, why would I keep playing Marvel Rivals? I just kind of does. Why am I still playing this game? So I kind of want to quickly just talk about why would I keep playing this. So you could say just for the fun of playing it. Come on. Just pick somebody. I swear to Christ. Which is fair enough. But sometimes when I'm losing like 3 in a row because my team just keep picking like damage and no like Vanguard or healers, whatever they're called. What are they even called? Vanguard Duelist Strategy. When everyone keeps picking one of these guys and no healers or tanks and I'm the only one and we keep losing, sometimes you need that little extra motivation, you know? You need that thing to be like, okay, I'm working towards something. And that was missions. These are now redundant. I get nothing for these. I've got nothing to spend any of these chrono tokens on, and they're pointless. Because other than the battle pass stuff, there's nothing else. And I completed this quite quickly. There is still 13 days to go, and it's done. So, I'm not earning them. What's the point? Well, there's this other currency. Units. These can be used to buy stuff in the store. But after a whole season, I have about half the amount I need for some of them. And we've got a tank. Look at that. Look at that.
Good medicine.
Oh God, I love Mantis. Go away. It would take like 2 seasons worth to even get a costume in here. If it's even a good costume. Squeaks. So yeah, that's kind of pointless. Units aren't really doing much for me here. That's not great. There is, or was, these season events. They were kind of cool. They got me to play different ways, on different maps. Lots of them are out of your control, but that's fine. And they unlock these. Or this. So, you get your own comic. And in them are little stories and some art and some little stories. They're all great. I've read them all. They're pretty cool. Other than that, there's like they kind of done. I did them before I even did the season pass. They weren't very hard, okay, but it's kind of cool that there's something extra to do there. It's funny as hell. What's this Spider-Man doing? Just getting wrecked. You also can get these. I don't know what any of these do. They're just here. Fine. You could then also do in here. Hidden on characters. Da, 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 da. This is confusing as hell. We'll go to the only one I've done. Where are you? You can do proficiencies. Also hidden in each hero profile. No one really tells you about it, but they're here. Doing them gets you different rewards, carrier prompts, avatars. No costumes or anything cool. Just some sprays. Which, you know, not talking like Overwatch was ever great, but at least getting like the loot boxes. Like you felt like you were building towards something. And you randomly would get a spray, which you were like, okay, that kind of sucks. Here, I can only work towards sprays. And it kind of sucks. Okay. Look, no! Bye. Oh god. Whoa, snipes. Yeah, it's nice that they have their own different little things, but again, you're probably not going to see this unless you look for it. You could also, over here, do achievements. Some of them are fine. Lots of these reach different levels, read different team-up stories. Galactica Guide's fine. You earn different stuff. You earn some nameplates. You earn titles. You earn some gallery cards. You earn chrono tokens that, again, are useless. So first one, Galactica Guides, they kind of teach you to do stuff in the game, like complete missions, send a message, customize will. Some of these, log in for 30 days, that's just going to keep you ticking along. Switch off 5 different nameplates requires you to have 5 different nameplates. Add 20 friends, that's never happening. That's just not going to happen. I'm happy this is going real well.
This Nexus needed a little boost.
Is that Wolverine? Why? Why Wolverine? Goo! I'm trapped in goo.
Combat capabilities enhanced.
We're doing fine. We're doing absolutely. We're ticking along. Nothing's even stopped us yet. Raise proficiency of 2 heroes to captain. Gonna take a while. These ones. These are all just easy play the game as well. Gets you to play different modes, AI things. I've still not done competitive. We'll talk about that. Join a tournament, I've done that, win 100 matches, whatever. And again, you get chrono tokens, which now becomes weird because you can't redo these achievements. So the way to gather these, it's going to be harder in different seasons to get chrono tokens because I got a lot of them through doing this stuff. So that's weird, right? It's going to be harder on other seasons once you've done these achievements. I don't know. You have heroic journeys, which are kind of cool, and also get you Steam achievements of doing different stuff with different characters. Encourage you to play different people. I get a couple of them. Some of them you're just going to do over time. As Punisher partner with Captain America and land a KO. Lots of them are random. They're fine. Again, these ones actually give you units to purchase things. These ones are actually useful. And you get a tile. But you know. It might have been a waste, but I wanted a hill, so. It could have been a waste of an ult. Probably was. 7v6 report. Report who? What's happening? Who's being reported? These ones actually get you the other currency to purchase costumes. You then have my favourite one, which were to do weird stuff in the levels, like listen to different audio logs, stand in the throne on one of the Yggdrasil maps, or Ysgard, whatever the one called, doing emote. They're kind of different things. This one's kind of, I just haven't got it. And I don't know where Okoye's message is, but that gets you a title. And these rewards. I'm assuming more different ones will come along. Different achievements as time goes on, because again, redundant. what was the point of having one for that if I'm going to lose them? I don't know. So yeah, we have achievements that are fine. We then have different seasonal things. Winter Celebration, again, blasted. It's not great. It's Splatoon with a character I do not like. But it took like... You have to decorate each of these things. And once you do, you get some points to add towards this. And you unlock a costume. It takes 2 gold stars to get this. And you kind of get 2 to 3 gold stars a day. It wasn't that hard. Is anyone actually with the point? Nope. It's ticking along on its own though. Fuck off, squirrels. What are you doing? Oh, hell yeah.
Your powers are mine!
Ha! Oh, it's never not funny. I now don't need to do it anymore. You also get silver ones so you can decorate the... What? I don't massively care. And I think more characters are going to show up because I can't complete my card. So, yeah, fine. Fine, whatever. It's totally fine. So again, this goes back to these are now pointless. I don't care about doing any of these. I've done the winter thing. These aren't going to roll over. What is the point? I don't know. I do not know. And then we have over here, we have some different modes. We have quick match, the one I play all the time. Competitive, that I don't trust not to get ranked with people that suck. I'm also not very good, so I don't really need it to mark down how bad I am. I don't need it. Whoa, 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 whoa. I died. Damn. Just Winter Splash. There's again just Splatoon, but more annoying. Conquest. I don't know. Spawn flex location limits. Isn't this just... It's just deathmatch. It's just deathmatch in smaller modes. It's not massively fun. Practice versus AI. Weird, why would anyone do it? It's the easiest mode in the world. I don't know. But, yeah. It's just... I just don't understand. I'm really confused. I might be wrong, but from everywhere I've googled, if I'm wrong, tell me, and then this whole 10 minutes would have been completely wasted. We good. We totally fine. Hey, we won. Look at that. Look at that. We'll do a game of this and then of winter thingy. Hey Jeff 116. But these aren't going to roll over as far as I can tell. So why am I playing this game? Why am I going to continue to play the game? Why not just wait 13 days and then come back and play it when I'm earning currency towards unlocking things? Because you unlock so few things through just playing, it's kind of unrewarding. You do level up. I'm level 21. But other than getting to level 20, there's nothing. You get an achievement at level 20. Other than that, you don't do anything. Leveling up doesn't unlock anything. It's a pointless metric that just ticks along after a match. It's kind of pointless. Anyway, that was my... Marvel Rovers is weird. Okay. It's fun. I'd recommend it. But it's weird. Metaphor is cool. I got this for Christmas. I wanted it for a while, and have waited to receive it as a gift. I'm a big fan of Atlas's other games. Persona 3, 4, 5, probably the one that cemented my love. Some of the other Shin Megami Tensei games I have dabbled in, but not gone in like super hard. But enjoyed them very much. Was excited for Metaphor. Playing Metaphor. I'm about 10 hours in. Any footage will not be a spoiler. It's going to be mostly from like a side dungeon you can do quite early on. 10 hours in is still quite early on. I've done the first, I guess, event, like timed event, like deadline event. Usually most of these games, as soon as that comes up, I get it done as quickly as possible so that I can like mess around and level up my other little abilities. my tolerance. And this follows a very similar strategy. It is a Persona style game. Again, calendar, giving you deadlines to do certain events, and then within them you can spend days building up different skills, whereas it would be like knowledge and things in Persona, because you're trying to kind of become king, I guess. Spoiler, maybe, I don't know. You have to level up your wisdom, your courage, your tolerance, all these other traits. You do things by like talking to random people, doing different activities like working behind a bar / kitchen, donating to like certain charities, that kind of stuff, along with doing some side quests will give you like courage and stuff. And the same way as Persona, certain side quests cannot be activated until you have certain levels of like wisdom, which required sitting on a bench for a while and watching the world go by. Instead of a big talking cat in Morgana, it's Morgana, isn't it? You now have an elf, a little elf lady following you around. So far I've only met 2-3 companions. They all seem fine. I haven't got their names. Stroll and Hildeberg, I don't know her name. And Goliath, I can't remember his name either, jeez. See, I'm not playing long enough for them to be embedded in my brain, but they seem fine so far. They seem fun. They seem very Atlas. I feel like they are Persona characters put in a fantasy world. Actual combat is also very similar to Persona. You use enemy weaknesses or different status ailments to fight longer. If you just attack someone normally, it will use one of your like pips in the top. If you do a weakness, you get like, it splits it into half, so you get like two attacks instead of one. Being resisted or being blocked will usually end your turn. Enemies can use weaknesses against you and will steamroll you. The way you instigate fights is different. There is kind of a melee combat, like an actual like real time. I don't know what you call it, like character action. I don't know. You can attack and dodge if you do enough damage to them before like the not quick time. What the fuck? Like the turn base. That's it. If you get enough hits in and get their stamina bar down, you'll enter the fight with them stunned. You can choose. You can just, as soon as you see an enemy, hit triangle or whatever button on choice on what console, and just instigate the turn-based fight. But you can take a risk beforehand and try and get them in a stun state. If you get hit by an enemy your level or higher, they will put you in peril and you'll just start the fight weakened and they'll get the first turn, which can sometimes ruin you. There is an option in, I think it's L3, that will restart the fight if you feel it's going real bad, but kind of useless if you've like been ambushed, because the fight's gone bad either way, so reloading a save or just dealing with it is probably the best thing to do. But there was a real cool thing about that, is if you are fighting lower level enemies, you can just kill them in the overworld without ever having to enter a turn-based mode, which is real good because it saves a lot on MP. You can still get levels and XP from doing that, and it just speeds up the process and makes you feel like you're powerful. Like enemies that once took a whole turn-based 10-minute fight now are just gone in a click of a sword button. It speeds up the whole process. It's pretty good. Most of the game, like the combat, is still decided by MP, which means if you're going through a dungeon and you run out of MP, your run is kind of done for the day and you're going to need to reset. To get the first like time deadline thing done, it took me about, I think, 4 or 5 in-game days. Usually you get to like a mini boss, you beat it, then you're out of MP, and then you save, leave, come back the next day. Once you've been into the dungeon or whatever, you then can't do anything in the evening. So it kind of, you know, if you're picking a day where you're going to do a dungeon run, that's your day. You then also have these side quests, which is what I'm mostly showing in the background. I've only done 2. One was to run around a big desert and kill enough enemies to get a bigger enemy to spawn. And then this one is just make it to a dungeon to find this Minotaur dude and then bring an item back to someone. I don't know how much that'll change. There are like bounties and things. Other side quests have been to a guy wanting to know how a kitchen worked in a different establishment. So I just did an evening working in the kitchen, and I got that done. And another one was to buy some medicine and deliver it. So, you know, it seems simple enough. It's a pretty good loop that gets you stuck in forever and will ruin me. I'm like, it's also a good treadmill game, I've found now. I have a treadmill that I just walk on while playing video games, and it's a simple enough one that I won't fall over. You know, I can't do a Dark Souls on a treadmill, but I can do a Metaphor Refantasio on a treadmill pretty efficiently. Story-wise, again, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm only a little bit of the way in. Opening cutscene kind of tells you who your villain is. It's a Griffith dude, blonde, long locks. It's Griffith. It's just Griffith with horns. He's killed the king, and you're a dude who knew the prince, and you're going to save the prince, and then you get wrapped up in conspiracy, and eventually maybe become the king. I don't actually know about that bit, but a big king face in the sky come and tells everyone that democracy's in effect now and everyone gets the vote. And also the stuff with humans and you picking your character and all of that jazz. System-wise, class-wise, it's very different to Persona. Persona, you had kind of everyone had like their own persona, and you as the main one could switch out your persona, monster, whatever, with a bunch of other different ones and take ability from that. Here there are like hero archetypes like mage, warrior, brawler, your Final Fantasy job classes. You level them up, they go up to 20, and then you can unlock new ones or like evolved better jobs like Final Fantasy. And you can also inherit skills from other jobs, so using the MAG you get from doing battles, at least purchasing like the base level of each of the archetypes for each character is pretty great. Some of them are cheap, and some of the base abilities are pretty good, and just the mix matching. I'm assuming raising ranks in other areas will give you... I raised the Seeker one to like a second rank with the character, whatever, and got the ability to have 2 inherited skills, so I'm assuming that will be the same for each class until you can just mix and match what you want. It's a really fun, easy to get to grips with system. Yeah, also like Persona, you do have relationships with people, but instead of making out, you handshake, and you're essentially gathering allies, of which you can rank up by spending time with or doing the skills. You have a guy called Moore who has a cat, and he's in like a mystical library, and he teaches you about archetypes and stuff, and he'll be like, hey, get this certain class to rank 10 and I will give you stuff. And that ranks him up. Then there's also like Stroll and Heisenberg, the elf, the redhead elf lady. Kind of like Persona, going on dates or hanging out with a friend. You go and do some stuff with them, and spending time and saying the right answers to the different questions can increase their rank and friendship, and you get more abilities. So far I've got very few. Again, I think I'm very early in the game. I think I'm just kind of out of the tutorial at like 10 hours, which is fine. I feel like the last thing I did was essentially like, hey, go out into the world now. There's also different from Persona. There's locations away from like the main city, it appears, and some of them take actual like travel time to get to. So far one of the dungeons took a day to go to and from, but I'm assuming some of them journeys will be much bigger and will have a bigger effect on like deadlines, but who knows. I don't know that. I'm just enjoying the game a lot, and it's really cool. I knew it was going to be cool. It was cool. It is cool. I hope to finish it, but you know, there's only so many hours in the day and it's long as hell. But I hope to. I'll just play it when I'm on the treadmill. It's real good. Play Metaphor, people. Did you know? It's not the other thing. Did you know the Steam Deck's cool? I didn't. Okay, I do, yeah, actually, yeah. So, this is a weird one. But did you know that the Steam Deck's really cool and that it plays PS5 games really well? Did you know that? I didn't know that. I kind of assumed it would, because Steam Deck's great. This isn't sponsored. There is no one. There's no one telling me to do this. I gain nothing from this. I just thought it was interesting and quite impressive how well PS5 games run on a Steam Deck. It's impressive to me. I got a Steam Deck maybe 6 months ago, and just so I could play games in bed because, you know, I got issues. I don't sleep. I just play video games. And pretty much out of the box, every game I've wanted to play has run on it really well, other than Guardians of the Galaxy, like the not the Telltale one, the Square Enix one. They did it right, Square Enix. That one just, I don't know if it's just not optimized for it. It just, even on whatever settings I put it on, it just runs poorly. But other than that, and I've got a lot of games. I did look at getting some of the other handheld PC whatever, but I've got so many games on Steam already that I just thought, it's just, screw it, I'll do it. And I researched that you can kind of play any other service on there with a little bit of tinkering. Like for instance, I played many hours of Final Fantasy XIV on said Steam Deck. I can't use it with my Steam account because of a license issue. The licensing system of 14 is weird. So I'd have to, on my Steam Deck, download the launcher separately and play off that. It works perfect. It's very good. There's very little that Steam Deck hasn't worked almost out of the box. Great. Some compatibility things you've had to change with, like the Proton G, whatever the hell that's called. Not hard to figure out. Pretty much everything has played really well. And then in the winter sale on Steam, again, this is also not a thing for Steam. Steam, you do not own any of them games. I'm not recommending you use Steam. I'm not even recommending you buy the Steam Deck. I'm just telling you that I like the Steam Deck. This is not a hey, use Steam or use the Steam Deck. No. But everyone does use Steam, so it's fun. It was the winter sale, and Spider-Man Miles Morales and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart were all 50% off, and I had some cash from winter stuff, so I thought I'll buy them and see how they are on the Steam Deck. I already own these games on PS5, but my PS5 isn't in my bedroom, and my Steam Deck is, so that is a reason to spend money. So I got them. Also, any footage playing on this is running on the PC because I'm not recording the screen of my Steam Deck. I'm recording my crotch. I'm not doing it. It doesn't look as good as what's shown anyway. So yeah, I got all three. I also got Suicide Squad, Kills the Justice League, because it was like $2.99. I haven't downloaded it. I haven't played it. I feel bad for purchasing it, but also it's really funny that it's like £2. But anyway. This not involved in this. I've not played that on the Steam Deck. So I downloaded all three, the Spuddermans and the Ratchets and Clanks, and all of them work expertly, wonderfully. Obviously, they're not at 60 FPS. If that's a big deal to you, I'm sorry. Obviously not as high fidelity as the console games, but my wife regularly turns to me and goes, wow, that looks really nice. And it does look really nice. Runs super smooth. Again, not the same as on a PS5 or a PC, but runs really well, solid, no crashes other than one. No crashes at issue. Both the Spider-Man games feel great, totally playable. Played like half of Miles Morales because it's winter, it's a wintry game. Played a little bit of Spudderman, and both feel great. They feel real good and smooth to play. Ratchet and Clank, I assumed there'd be a thing that would screw it, because I remember before the PS5 came out, there was a lot of stuff about the SSD in the PS5, and Ratchet & Clank was used for that, especially in the opening mission when you fall through portals and just like end up in other levels, and like it's instantly loading with no issues. I was like, how is the Steam Deck going to handle this? And the answer is, it doesn't very well. It crashed the first time. After in the tutorial you defeat Nefarious's big robot and you're falling through the portals, it crashed. I reloaded, and then after some hitching, like Ratchet would just float in the air while the level loaded, it went through fine, and after that I've had no problems. I knew that would happen. It was just something that it wasn't going to be able to handle that. I don't blame the Steam Deck. Other than that issue, all three games have run expertly well. And again, this isn't me telling you to buy a Steam Deck. or buy these games, or use Steam. I'm just saying, did you know that they run pretty well on there? And it's kind of cool. I think it's cool. I was really impressed. All of them I was playing, I was like, wow. Yeah, I know I had to buy these games that I already own, and I don't actually now own these games on Steam. I've just purchased a license because the world is a fucking terrible place. But that doesn't change. That is kind of cool. Yeah, I just thought you should know. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's about it. So before we continue with this, I just want to make it clear that I am not in support of Blizzard or Activision, or would even recommend you purchase this game or anything they make. They're not good people. I feel that it's important to put out there before I say anything else. They're not great. But that doesn't mean I haven't played a lot of World of Warcraft as of late. Back in time. Back in time. When I was young. I think around the time of the Burning Crusade is when I played WoW for the first time and was not a fan. As I got older, I continued to not be a fan. Wasn't for me. MMOs in general weren't really for me. But I had a pang in my heart, in my head, to play MMOs here and there. And I played quite a few. Lots aren't for me. I really like Final Fantasy XIV. Great game. But World of Warcraft was out there doing its thing. And then a friend was like, hey, let's play some hardcore. So we played hardcore. And it was a quick death for the troll warrior, Huka Cthulhu. He didn't last too long. He was killed by the son of Argol. And that was real sad for him. But I was like, okay, hardcore may not be for me. It's not how I like to play, because lots of them require them. If you're playing WoW, you're using mods. And there's some that are extreme. Some which literally tell you step by step what to do and how to level up. Not for me, not my jam. I don't mind some of the questy mods and things that like point you in the right direction and will point out where certain items are. Fine, but the ones that literally tell you step by step, not great, but you kind of need them for hardcore. So it's the 20th anniversary. Is it 20th? I don't know. It's an anniversary of WoW. So they have anniversary servers where they're restarting the classic servers and assumingly going along to like Burning Crusade, Wrath, and then who knows. And I kind of wanted to do that. So I've done that. I've got a couple of characters, all doing different things. I'm streaming one of them on Twitch. Sieg, Human Warrior. Streaming here and there. That's fun. Also got Cthulhu, an Undead Warlock for myself. And I'm enjoying myself thoroughly. I've outside sources. I've watched in my time many a YouTube video. I listened to the Rise of the Horde audiobook. I'm currently listening to the Last Guardian audiobook. I'm kind of deep in, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I don't know how to explain it though, because I'm still not the biggest MMO fan. The thing I like a lot about 14 is it's really easy to play solo, and when you do have to do dungeons, it's kind of flawless. Like you just hit, I'm going to do a duty finder, I'll do it, I'm paired up with someone for a little while, and then I move on. It's simple. WoW still has some friction, especially WoW Classic. There is now, for the anniversary like server, some like party finder tools, which I ended up using on while trying to get footage for here. I wanted to record 10 minutes of me just running around in my Warlock. I then ended up matching with, like, talking to a guy and doing an elite quest, and that took like 40 minutes until my internet died, because, you know, my internet died. But this is what happens. I'll start to be like, I'll just do a little bit, and then hours go by where I've just walked around the field and killed some people, and I can put on a podcast, I can put something on in the background, I can even just zone out into a world of nothing as I grind enemies for menial amounts of XP and very little items. It's not, I don't know if I can't recommend it. Like I can't recommend it, but I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'd like retail WoW. Because last time I did maybe a year ago play some retail WoW. I got to not max level, but level so I could start doing Dragonflight. And I had planned to get enough so that I could play the newest expansion. But what really wore me down was anything before Dragonflight, the game like pushed you through. Like it supplied so much XP that any old expansion you could just like get done within like a few hours. Like 10 levels worth, and then it'll be like, hey, move on to Dragonflight. And I was like, I kind of want to get invested in your story, but you clearly don't care about your story and you just want me to play current content, which was a little bit annoying. You know, I just wanted to see what was happening in old expansions. And you could use, I can't remember the name of the gnome dragon girl. You can replay old expansions in retail, but I'm pretty sure once you reach like a level in it, it will just push you out. There's so much friction to try and engage in WoW's story, and that's annoying. But with Classic, I'm at the start. Well, I'm not at the start, there's 3 other games, but I'm start of actual World of Warcraft. And I'm liking some of the stories. Undead one, I've kind of lost track. Doing stuff about Worgans, not really sure, and other groups are trying to get me to build evil, like war crime, chemical weapons. Kind of not really sure where I am with the undead, but the human story with the Defiance Brotherhood, and that is interesting enough. I don't know how interesting it will remain. There's enough little strings there to keep me ticking along. It just feels like it's not the priority, and you can tell it isn't the priority. And even today in retail, it's not the priority. It's like getting to endgame and raiding. That's kind of it. But I am enjoying the process so far. It's fun. But again, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. One, because I don't think Blizzard Activision are good companies, or now whatever conglomerate hellscape they are. I don't think any of their games are overly great or overly fair with monetization and all that stuff. Even with this, me and my friend who started it, we wanted to like probably see more people, so we wanted to go on US servers. Whereas any other game, you can just select whatever server like base you want in the world and play a server on there. You have to have a separate paid like subscription for different servers. Why? Why would I do that? So now everything's on this US server. If I ever want to go back and play in a European one, I could do transfers, I guess, but I don't even know if you can transfer to like different region servers. I'm not sure. It seems dumb as hell. I don't know why you have to do that. And it's even made me want to play some other games. Like I wanted to get into Hearthstone again because Marvel Snap is driving me insane. But Jesus Christ, that is an impenetrable wall of cards and currencies and game modes that I am just not prepared for. You got Warcraft Rumble, which is fine, but it's also just a money-making hellscape as well. It's just, why aren't you nice, Blizzard? Why don't you make new good games and not be evil? I don't know. But yeah, I don't recommend this, and I don't know if it's good, but I'm very much enjoying it. Like, I'm having fun learning each of the class and their rotations. I've made my own spreadsheets of what to level up, what not to level up, items to look to sell, skills to get, weapons to look for. I'm doing it all. I'm in deep. I'm making spreadsheets. Well, I make spreadsheets all the time. That doesn't count. But it's fun, okay? It's fun and I like it. And if you're on, I think it's Dream Scale, and your Hoarder Alliance, hit me up. Either Sieg or Cthulhu. Hit me up. We'll do something. I don't know. I'm not in a guild. If you got a guild, I'll join it. All the other ones are weird. They're all like pun names or weird sex names, and I'm not vibing with that. I don't know, maybe it's because in American servers, when our humour's not on the same level. I don't know. I'm playing a lot of WoW though, and I'm really not. My wife looks at me weird when she walks in and sees me playing WoW. She didn't marry this man. And now we have the list. If you don't know what the list is, where have you been? Maybe you should go to highclasscthulhu.co.uk or .com and have a look at the list. The list is a list of games. I want to play every game. It's dumb, I know. and put them on a big list of best to worst to middle to weird, whatever. I made a big aggregated one out of a bunch of games and other people's online lists, and now I'm making my own. So far, we have Silent Hill 2, Devil May Cry 3, Resident Evil 1, Jak and Daxter, Demon's Souls Remake, Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy 1. I have... Some of these are from Let's Plays I've done on this channel. Some are from streams I've done on Twitch, and some are from reviews that I have written on said website. They're from everywhere. To the amount of games I want to do, it would be ridiculous to archive or like do them all somewhere. So some of them I'm just doing written reviews. Some I'm just going to do here. You got to be everywhere, you know. The way it works is I give each game a score out of 10 in these categories: story, character, world, visual and aesthetics, sound design and music, gameplay and mechanics, level design, player reward and replay, fun and frustration. That gives it its total. Each game starts at a 5 and goes up and down based on if it does good or bad. That's mostly because, say I play a racing game with no story, it's not really fair to deduct points or give it a 0 because it's got no story, because the game isn't doing that. So that's, unless it's a racing game that does a story and does it poorly, and then it will go down. That's kind of how I'm. Well, a fighting game might not have a story or level design, but it doesn't mean it's going to be bad. We'll do that. It gives a score out of 100. Then, because we're going to be doing so many games and some of them will score the same amounts, I have my own score out of 10 I give it, because some games that are really good I might not particularly like, and some games that aren't particularly good I might really like, and that gives it its own score and then determines what's above the other. Simple. For more information and other little tangents and bits, again, go onto the website. It's a cool website, guys. So we are now going to do Soul Reaver. I recently played the remake, remaster, not remake, and I love the game. It's a good game. There are issues though. And we'll go through the whole thing. So story. It's great, but unfinished. Not just because it obviously is cleared up in later games and some previous games and a bunch of other stuff. It literally was unfinished. Like they didn't have time to finish what they wanted in the game, so they had to push it to the sequel. That can be felt in some ways. You see the future at some points, and when those future events do actually happen in later games, they're obviously slightly different, because there's whole areas that are not in the game, there's whole boss fights and characters that just aren't there. One of the cool things about the remaster is some of those lost levels have been put in so you can explore, but there is clearly stuff missing in the story, like Tyrell, where he at, and again later on it makes sense. But for this game, it does feel like it's lacking a little bit. But that being said, what is there is excellent. I don't know if that's just propped up by the voice acting, but writing by Amy Hennig of Uncharted fame is fantastic. It's kind of... I don't know how many people would have played Blood Omen. I didn't when I first played Soul Reaver. I was a small child. I have since played Blood Omen, but there's not much, like, if you don't know who Morbius is, or Mobius, if you don't know who Kane is even, it's weird. It's weird to do if you don't know the larger context. It works, and it's fine, but it's definitely, missing bits, it feels like, here and there, which I don't think is a negative, but it's also like, meh. What do I give it? It's not a 10. It's good, but is it good because of the context of the larger game series? How good is it in just this game? I'm pretty compelled to go and beat the crap out of Kane, what he's done to the world, all that jazz. I have a goal, I know where I'm going. There's lots of details where you find like nut raptors like stuff, and it's like, ooh, intrigue. I'm gonna give it an 8. Do I give it an 8? Okay, Devil May Cry 3 and 8. Okay, Devil May Cry 3 and 8. If I gave Devil May Cry 3 an 8, I've got to give Soul Reaver at least an 8. Okay, let's get an 8. Characters. Dear God, I love Raziel. I just love him. He's the best. And Kane. Again, I have to disassociate from like Blood Omen Kane and later like 2 and Defiance with Raziel and Kane. But what's here is pretty great. Raziel, kind of a whiny bitch, who is just kind of strung along and led astray, and is really not having a great time. And he's killing all his brothers, and he's real happy about it. He's kind of okay, but also real sad because they were all Sarafan. Raziel's great. Kane is like omniscient and aloof and doesn't seem to like care about what's going on, but then that adds to more intrigue, and you're like, what the fuck? What is this guy? Why is he so weird looking with his cloven hoofs? But other than them, I guess you got the Elder God as well. Big squid boy in his squiddy ways, tricking and deceiving. You have each of the brothers, but they get very little screen time, and I'm trying to even think. Malkaya gives you quite like information, but most of them kind of don't. Duma is just like, I can kill you all, and then gets beaten up by an oven. It's hard again, because later games, like Mobius isn't here, Vorador isn't here, a lot isn't here, and it's all resting on Raziel, who is real great. But is it just Michael Bell's voice acting? Maybe. I'm giving it a 9. Do we give it a 9? Do we give it an 8? I'll do an 8, because again, I'm trying to remove context from later games. World is... while it's very visually similar, like that's the next section, it is different enough. There's a lot of history there. It is post-apocalyptic, so you're finding remnants of like the flooded cathedral, the human citadel, what's left of the humans. It isn't the same kind of Nosgoth you get in Blood Omen, where they're like living towns. This is all desolate, and again, chunks of it have been removed. Like with these, the idea of like the smokestacks that vampires made to like blot out the sun, that's real cool, but it's not in the game. The big old tower that tries to, like the humans made to kill vampires, it's really cool. You find like Nutraptor's Retreat, is it Nutraptor's Retreat? I don't know. You find the big skull, and there's lots of hidden depths and little bits to find, and hints to the grander world. It's kind of cool. If not visually as cool, but it's cool. I think if you could maybe time travel like in later games and see it at a different period, so it isn't all quite so samey and sad. I'll give it a 7. Visual and aesthetics. So this is hard to do because it is the remaster with the upgraded kind of better textures. The world itself is a bit samey. If you showed me like a screenshot of one of the areas, I would maybe find it hard to tell you where anything is. It's end of the world. It's a bit beige. Every now and again you get a thing to change up, like again the flooded cathedral turns a bit blue. Duma's place turns a bit white. Other than that, visually not great, but character-wise, everyone's real cool. Each of the different vampire clans stand out a ton. I can't remember their names. Malkaya's the rotten, unformed people. Zephon is the spider ones. They look horrifying in the remaster. The Doomahim are everywhere. They're like little rhino men. They're cool. And the Trellian would be cool if the actual boss existed. And Raziel's design is so cool. He's like Wraith with his like half empty mouth with the 2 teeth and the big old scarf that makes it look like tears. It's great. It's so good. Kane looks weird in this game. Like even the remaster thingy, he just looks a bit off. Like in like the cutscenes, he looks great. In game, he looks weird and like a clay model. He's a bit odd looking, but I'll give him a break. I've got to give it a 9. No, world's a bit blur. Characters are great. 8. You get an 8 as well. Sound design and music. I love kind of everything from like the pew sound of the Reaver when it shoots, or just the Reaver activating, or like the sound as the music changes when you shift into the spectral realm. It's all pretty fantastic. The music itself, I had it on in the background while I was at work. It's all real good. I'll give it to be fair, I think it's like stands out more than any of the rest of the Legacy of Kain music, as far as I know. Like in my mind, I can think of the Soul Reaver soundtrack. I want to give it a 9. Give it a 9. Gameplay and mechanics. It's not great. Combat is annoying. Getting the glyphs really help out, and using them powers really destroy everything. But the Reaver itself, the Soul Reaver, the titular Reaver, it's real annoying because lots of enemies will get a hit on you when they really shouldn't, and you'll just lose access to the Reaver, which means you've probably not picked up another weapon, and then you can't kill most enemies. Most enemies needing to be killed by impaling, water, sun or fire. Cool idea. In practice, a little bit annoying if you don't have access to the Reaver. So the combat is irritating. Platforming's fine for the most part. I wish there was more shifting between the spectral realm and the real world for more puzzles, and maybe it was a bit more fluid, or you could turn back easier and not on specific points. I don't know if that limits, because it feels like every puzzle is clearly obvious. Like you shift, a pillar raises up higher, then you jump, and then you turn back at that point. Kind of, maybe if you could leave the spectral realm whenever you wanted, it could make some of those puzzles more interesting. I don't know. And other than that, it's block pushing. So much block pushing. I don't know why. Lifting and spinning blocks around to push them into holes is not fun. I don't enjoy it, and there's so much of it. It improves when you can like telekinesis blast them. That improves things slightly, but it's a lot of block pushing. The puzzles are not hard. Some of them just take a long time to like put all of the pieces in motion. So I don't like the combat. I don't mind the platforming when it works. And the puzzles are all kind of annoying. I might have to give it a 4. It might be saved by like the power-ups, like the glyphs. That might save it a little bit. But it's not just okay, some bits are genuinely bad. Like the big tower, the Zephon's place is hell. Like getting the 3 things, knocking down the 3 things to start the gas to get you up higher. It wasn't fun. Didn't enjoy it. We're going to go 4. Level design. Kind of mixed with the puzzles. It's a lot of like setting up things. Like a Rube Goldberg machine, setting things up to get other things to work. They're all interesting to get around on, especially when they're like vertical and you can jump around. And they've got the Metroidvania thing of unlocking some things. Wall climbing is used very rarely. Water is used in like 1 or 2 locations and it's cool. The constrict ability sucks balls. I would have added them to the gameplay mechanics actually. Do I drop it down even further? Because some of them upgrades are terrible. Constrict is bad. Anyway, deserves 4. They're all distinct enough that you know what you're doing, but then you get to like the Human Citadel that has 2 collectibles in, because again it's not finished, and you're like, this kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. Every now and again you get a cool place you can go like glide a large distance, like in Upruptor's place, but also that's an optional area with very little in. I don't want to say it's terrible, but it might be terrible. No, there's at least thought put into it. I'm giving it at least a 6. Like, it's better than average, okay? It's an early 3D platformer thing. Like, you get to Mobius's, like, or the Oracle's caverns, and there's some cool puzzles in there, I guess, and opening doors by shifting and things. I will give it a 6. Player reward and replay. There's kind of nothing, is there? You obviously there's upgrades for collecting, for beating bosses. There's things you can find in the environment that increase your amount of glyph energy and health. Meh. And that's kind of it. You can also get a Fire Reaver upgrade. And again, that's it. There used to be loads of different Reavers that were getting cut from the game. But other than that, there's really not any reason to play the game more than once. You can get everything in one playthrough, and there's nothing else. The remaster, yes, not remake, remaster has quite a cool bonus selection, but you don't have to unlock. You can just look at all that straight away. It's not bad. It's not good. There's just nothing. So I'm just going to give it a 5. You know, fun. I had a lot of fun, which I know I've just mugged off all of the game mechanics. I said they're all bad, but I enjoy being in the world and exploring it and looking at it and listening to it, and I'm having a good time when I'm in there, you know? It's not the best, but I'm having a good time. Shifting between realms, hanging out with Raziel. It's not as high as most of the others on here. I'm just having a good time. Good old time. I'm giving it a 7. You can have a 7. And frustration. High. There's a lot of frustration. Again, getting hit once and losing the Reaver and having to go in the Spectral Realm. And then sucking a soul, and then finding a point to come back in, to then go to fight a Zephon guy again and get hit once, and then they just keep respawning while I'm trying to jump on a platform or push a block, and they just keep respawning. I hate it. Trying to jump around in the Water Cathedral and like accidentally just not grabbing on, so then you die and you have to run around all over again. There's a lot that is frustrating about this game. It is old. It feels old. There is some jank. There's so much block pushing that is not fun. And again, fun and frustration are separated because they're not mutually exclusive. I can have a lot of fun and also be very frustrated. So, do I give it a 3? A 3 for frustration? I give it a 3. Which gives us a score of 65. Oh god, where's that in the list? Oh my god, it beats Final Fantasy 1. Anyway, so my score, my personal score. I really like this game. I know I've just kind of said it's kind of meh, but it might just be nostalgia and childhood memories, but I have a good time. And I replay it every now and again. Zephon's tower does drive me a bit mad and is a slog with the block pushing, but other than that, it's pretty smooth. I think I beat it in about like 9 hours. It's pretty easy to get through, and I'm usually having a good time. I'll give it a 7. It's a 7. So I've given it a 7. Overall score is 65, which means it is above Final Fantasy 1, which is so weird when I say it out loud, because I think Final Fantasy 1 might be a better game, but doesn't. So we have Silent Hill 2 at 81, Devil May Cry 3 at 73, Resident Evil 1 at 72, Jak and Daxter 69, Demon's Souls Remake 68. Isn't that weird? Devil May Cry 65, then Soul Reaver at 65, and Final Fantasy 1 at 54. This list is really weird. And that is the end of the High Class Power Hour. Hopefully you've enjoyed this and watched the end. I know what I'm really doing. If you've got any ideas of how I could improve this mess, please let me know. And, like, subscribe, although I don't usually say it, but I feel like I should. Check out the social medias and the website and all that other jazz coming up. On Twitch, I am playing some WoW, some Fallout 3, and some Marvel Rivals here and there. I'm not consistent. I'm not consistent in anything. Should be used to that. There's not much I'm looking forward to, like, coming out game-wise. I've just had like a quick look. Next month, Donkey Kong Country returns HD. February, Monster Hunter Wilds, I guess. March. Meh. Yeah, I'm just feeling meh on a lot of games at the moment. That's really weird, and like all media in general. Like, I'm excited for Nosferatu in the cinemas, but other than that, I'm just. So who knows if I do another of these, what I'll even talk about. Who knows? So yeah, come back next time for more high class content on High Class Cthulhu, and hopefully some cool stuff somewhere, maybe. Who knows? Thank you for watching. You're a wonderful person, and goodbye.